Canelo got to fight.
Yeah.
Why would I be thinking about
What do
him?
you think of the Berlanga fight?
I think he stops Berlanga.
Makes sense. I think it's the biggest fight available for Canelo Alvarez outside of David Benavidez. So, you know, his other mandatory was William Scott. I believe this was the right fight for him.
I mean, I don't see it, but, you know, anything's possible in the sport of boxing. I'm sure we've seen crazier things.
See Louis Tom, and of course, the champ and Eddie for taking this fight with Edgar Keith Connolly done a great job to get this made. But this isn't just about winning the lottery. This is about claiming a ticket, and Edgar Berlanga is here only to win 16 first-round knockouts in his first 16 fights, 22-0. This kid has amateur pedigree. This kid has ability. This kid has dynamite in his hands. And this kid has a big set of coons that will put everything on the line on September the 14th. Boxing pros have revealed their picks for the Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga fight. Canelo is set to return to the boxing ring, defending his undisputed super middleweight titles against Berlanga on September 14th. This is our main event. September 14th, Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga meets for the WBA, WBC, and WBO super middleweight world title. The bout is set just 2 days ahead of Mexican Independence Day, a strategic timing. Canelo has often favored throughout his career. Canelo, with a record of 61-22 and 39 knockouts, recently secured a unanimous decision victory against Mia. In May, this triumph marked his fourth consecutive win since returning to the super middleweight division, following his unsuccessful bid for the WBA light heavyweight title against Dimitri Bivol in May 2022. Berlanga, an undefeated rising star, boasts an impressive 22-0 record, with 17 of those victories coming by knockout. His latest triumph came in February, when he secured a 6-round TKO against Padre MCC. Numerous fans have been eager to witness Canelo take on the UPAN coming sensation David Benavidez, who recently boosted his record to 29-0 by overcoming Alexander Gazik to secure the WBC interim light heavyweight title. While Canelo has been hesitant about this bout due to Benz's imposing stature and youthful vigor, he has lately expressed a willingness to consider the challenge if the financial offer is compelling enough. "We'll see why not if the money is correct. Why not?" Alvarez said during an appearance on ESPN's First Take in May. Fans will have to wait till Alvarez defeats Berlanga in order to fantasize about seeing Benavidez. Once more, Fat Joe has consistently stood by Edgar Berlanga, his fellow Puerto Rican, as he has risen through the boxing ranks. Moreover, rap legend Jay-Z stood alongside Berlanga at the Palladium Times Square on Monday during the Canelo Alvarez Berlanga press conference in New York City. Joe then had some words to say to those who are undervaluing Berlanga's potential to pull off what would be seen as a major upset. Joe started telling DAZN News, "I've been fighting this type of adversity my whole life. I know what he's going up against. So the hate that doesn't do nothing but fuel guys like us. We're cut from the same cloth. This man wanted the fight. I don't think you'll understand that this guy wanted the fight. It's not like, oh, you about to fight Alvarez. Really, no, this guy wants the fight." Joe believes that Berlanga, despite his unbeaten record, has more than just a puncher's chance to surprise the world by defeating Alvarez and seizing the title of unified super middleweight world champion. Joe tacked on about Berlanga, "He's got dynamite in his gloves. Never sleep on the boxer. I have never seen a fight that Edgar Berlanga has fought where he doesn't hit someone somewhere where they're like, whoa, they wake up. It's like when you walk outside and that cold hits you." This is a tale of two Davids, set against the backdrop of a shifting landscape in the 168-175 pounds divisions. After years of challenging Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez has shifted gears, now stepping into the light heavyweight ring. Meanwhile, the spotlight turns to OC David Morel Gutierrez Jr., better known as David Morel. The Cuban-born pugilist made his debut in the 175-pound division, facing Ravo Kick for the vacant WBA title at the Terran Crawford-Israel Madoff headliner. Much like his namesake, Morel has long pursued a bout with Canelo Alvarez, with their destinies seemingly linked. Despite their efforts, neither has secured the coveted fight. David Morel even reached out to David Benavidez, but his attempts were fruitless now, with Alvarez opting for a title defense against Edgar Berlanga. Morel, a Santa Clara-born southpaw, finds his WBA mandatory status to be a ludicrous notion during fight week. The schedule kicked off with the grand arrivals, the initial pre-event spectacle, on Tuesday. In a conversation with a cluster of journalists, David Morel seemed visibly exasperated by the incessant inquiries about the upcoming September 14th bout featuring Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. "Man, this fight's everybody knows. I don't want any more questions about this fight. It's crazy. He said the Cuban-American boxer grasps the reality that ultimately it's all about business nonetheless. He points out that Canelo Alvarez has sidestepped clashes with two Cubans himself and potentially Yoel Hernandez in the 168 bits division. Furthermore, it's become widely. What didn't you like about following Canelo Alvarez? Comment Turkey Alec has now stated that he is no longer interested in pursuing the fight between Alvarez and Terence Crawford. How he approach is not the way to approach. Alec has decided to shift gears, announcing his disinterest in pursuing the bout. Instead, he will focus on building Crawford's profile in the U.S. market and promoting other top fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Javid Davis. He not a way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody, and I respect Turkey. On the other hand, Saul Canelo Alvarez doesn't like to discuss future plans when he has a fight on his immediate schedule, and he emphasized how that point applies even when pressed by boxing's newest big power broker Turkey Alec. But I look, if he wants to work with me, he need be in my way. Alvarez said he was contacted by Alec on Monday about the possibility of taking a February fight in Saudi Arabia against newly crowned junior middleweight and 4 division champion Terence Crawford. You said you feel Crawford is easy. You felt that Crawford to you is easy money. They called me yesterday, Alvarez told Pui.com in a Tuesday interview before his news conference with SEP 14 super middleweight opponent Edgar Berlanga at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Why, what did you see there? Canelo, look, I don't want to talk. Crawford is a great fighter. They wanted to meet with me and see about the fight with Crawford in February. I said, look, I'm not interested in talking about another fight after SEP 14. We can talk, but not right music. Now, Alec then announced on X late Monday night that just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team planning for the upcoming fights that we will make for 2024 to 2025. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing for the U.S. market with bigger fights, especially for the legendary Crawford music. He added, I am focusing on Riot Season Card, Wembley Edition 21st of September, Anthony Joshua versus Dubois, and depending on the results of Riot Season's opening card, Bivol versus Beer Bev on the 12th of October. I will build the card for the rematch of Fury versus Usyk on the 21st of December, and another big card in the first quarter of 2025. Stay tuned. I don't really care about it. Look, I'm focused 100% on my fight. And I don't really care about it. Just recently, Floyd Mayweather had a press conference as well ahead of his exhibition fight against John Gotti. Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti I kept things respectful this time around to be able, just it's always great to be able to fight where there's a lot of fight fans. And we know that Mexico has a history of boxing. Mayweather and Gotti face off in an exhibition boxing on August 24th in Mexico City. It's a rematch of a 2023 exhibition bout between the two that descended into chaos when referee Kenny Biss halted the fight due to excessive trash talk between the two, causing a near brawl in the ring. Afterward, Mexico has a history of great champions and the love of boxing. Now, the two were set to run things back at a press event in New York City on Thursday. Both men remained chill before engaging in their first face-off for the rematch, and the love of boxing in Mexico is truly unbelievable. Gotti is the 31-year-old grandson of infamous mob boss John Gotti, but made a name for himself as an MMA fighter before transitioning into boxing, where he is currently 2-0 as a professional. The 47-year-old Mayweather is widely considered to be one of the best boxers of his generation and an all-time great, sporting a perfect 50-0 professional record. Mayweather retired from boxing in 2017, but has since engaged in a number of exhibition bouts like this one, including matchups with Logan Paul and Aaron Shares to go take a vacation in Mexico, but never having a chance to go to Mexico and actually fight. The first bout between the two, which happened on June 14, 2023, was an exhibition boxing match held at the FL Live Arena in Sunrise, Florida. It ended in a controversial way, with the fight being stopped in the 6th round. The stoppage led to a post-fight melee that overshadowed the bout itself. Was fate, and I think this time is fate. We wasn't supposed to have this fight again. One thing led to another, and Mayweather, the legendary undefeated boxer, and Gotti the grandson of the notorious mob boss John Gotti and a professional boxer and MMA fighter himself, were expected to draw significant attention due to their high profiles. However, the chaotic end to their first encounter, including a brawl involving members of both camps, led to the fight's controversial conclusion. Why not get a second chance of one of the greatest fighters to ever lace up boxing gloves? So Gotti the third threw more punches and showed more aggression after the fight was stopped than he did in the actual bout.